Hi everybody, I'm Dino, this is Bruno and Janine. Bruno is the owner of Lightbet Images and Photography, and Janine is a director of the new Inform Loans. And as I said, I'm Dino and I'm a business development manager and strong advocate of finance professionals throughout the Australian market. But we've gotten together because we want to share some exciting news. But Janine, do you want to tell everyone what we're doing here today?
So this is going to be the first of a series of videos about Perth LinkedIn success stories. So what we want to do is we want to celebrate people's successes in their networks within LinkedIn and what they've seen in their return on their investment for B2B business referrals, and also direct customer referrals as well, direct customer sales. So we're just going to talk briefly today about what our success stories have been, and then we will start interviewing some key people in Perth, which is going to be relevant to yourselves, and also a great introduction to some local business.
Yeah, Bruno?
Yes, LinkedIn has been a great marketplace for me at this present time, because I returned back to Perth after 9 years of living abroad. Leaving Perth as an accountant, coming back as a photographer, so I didn't have any track record back in Perth, where I can tap back into. And then LinkedIn became that platform for me where I can actually get out there and make myself visible, and then be able to get access to people that I want to do business with. And so LinkedIn is being more beneficial than anything else that I could do if I was to just get out trying to do business by myself.
So how long has that taken you, Bruno?
I've been a member, and I have an account on LinkedIn for the last 5-6 years, but I wasn't actually proactive with it. But the last 7 months has been the most productive time that I've had on LinkedIn, to the point that I've had made some exceptional connections, such as Professor Gary Martin at the Australian Institute of Management, which I'm doing a lot of work for them, and I feel like I'm part of the team. And if it wasn't because of LinkedIn, I wouldn't have had access to Professor Gary or get to know Professor.
So how did you initiate that relationship with Gary?
Gary is proactive on LinkedIn, and he has some great quotes that he puts up every morning, and with images of himself. And because he's really, really up with personal branding, because of that, so I reached out to him. Could craft him some exceptional shots for his quote. And all along, he's seen my work, and he was going to get in touch, but I kind of preempted that one.
Yeah.
And so I've done some, portrait, for him, and he's been using that, and to the point that I've been doing all the functions for them, and being able to shoot the senior management team, and we have specials for their members. Periodically, where I go out there and work with the members who want some new branding shirts.
And don't forget, you've met Janine and I through LinkedIn.
Exactly. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here.
Hence why we're sitting around the table today.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes, and so that relationship is growing, to a point that it's become more of a friendship relationship, with everybody at Ames that I'm working with. And,
so did you find that, so you've been active on LinkedIn, but obviously you ramped it up in the last 7 months. When you made that initial point of contact, that obviously you felt more warm in contacting him, you've been following his content, I'd assumed that you've given him a message and introduced yourself because you've been following his content, and I think that's kind of that's how I've been successful myself. And I don't know about yourself, Dino. I think when you're watching somebody else's content, you've got to go in there and celebrate what they've been doing, and say thanks for blah blah blah, and then introduce a little bit about yourself, and then let it be a natural conversation. That way, the relationship builds as a normal relationship, not a cold sell where you're just marketing to them straight away.
Exactly. And I've been following, Professor Gary, and basically with the background in accounting, I had leaders and CEOs, who I admire, and he was one of those people, and so I could relate so much easily with them through his quotes, daily quotes, and we have something that we can talk about. We have something in common, that kind of brought us together as well. Yeah. So even though I'm a photographer, and he's one of the business leaders around town, but we have a common
connection on it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head in the business success story that you're going about sort of highlights the use of LinkedIn or social media in general. And I think what we're going to see commonly placed out there when we interview successful business owners around social media is the education piece and the giving first.
Yes.
And they're giving probably multiple times before earning the right to actually ask for some business back. So,
Exactly.
and you guys as business owners probably get exactly where I'm coming from, and people watching hopefully do. But Janine, you shared a little bit about your success. Is there anything in particular that you're seeing out of LinkedIn?
So for myself, it's literally been a case of just building on those relationships, but in a very natural course. So much the same as Bruno, which is funny. I'd thought I'd been invested in LinkedIn for over a year, like solidly, but I found that when I traced it back in, my first video was only 7 months ago myself, and I hit a point where I thought, I know my value, I know what I want to give back to the community, how do I do this? And I've been a big fan of Dino's, and we're in the same industry, and kind of followed the lead as such in terms of the content with pictures and videos. But by putting out those videos first, look, I've probably got a couple of likes and not that many views. But then when people seen that consistency in what I was doing, then all of a sudden I started getting followers. It's built up to over 21,000 followers in a 7-month period, which has been exceptional in itself. But off the back of that, I've met such amazing people, and I've found that there is true success in how you operate as a business, especially business to business, because people are buying into you before you even know them. So they're seeing that content, they're seeing your value in your industry and what you're putting out there. So it gives you that warm introduction, because they are generally contacting yourself first as well. So you're not having to go out with a cold sell. You get that warm sell because they come to you and ask you for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are spot on. You guys probably have a different marketing strategy as business owners compared to mine as an actual employee of a large company. And my aspect around LinkedIn is all about how do I help educate, inspire people? Can I give them business tips? And if I talk about motivation videos I do every Wednesday, if one person takes something out of that each week, then I put that in the success box and give it a big green tick. And I'm getting that feedback that people are, so hence you continue doing it, and you don't just throw it in the bin after 1 week. So it's that consistent approach and really giving something the time that it deserves, and really investing it across social media. So guys, if you're still watching, thank you.
Yes.
We will be interviewing our first local business owner next week. Is that correct?
It's going to be postponed, unfortunately.
So we're pushing it back.
I'm making an impromptu trip to the UK, but we will be very shortly.
Just stay tuned. We'll ensure that across our own followers that we'll be putting it out on LinkedIn when that comes up, the previews to it, and obviously the video in full. So stay tuned to that. Guys, anything else before we sign off today?
Don't try to sell on the first time that you connect someone.
That's a
brilliant
tip. Yeah.
Nice tip. I'm sure we've all experienced it. But
That's
guys,
it.
thank you very much.
Cheers.
See you again soon.
Thank you.